ballers, what's going on? It's Preachy. I am back in the house doing my stuff. Thank God the 10k subscriber weekend has been and gone. Oh, we can relax a little bit. The stress was getting heavy. Everybody's taking a little break for a couple of days after that because it was a hell of a thing to organise and pull off. But you guys had a great time too. Awesome. Everything went really well and the prize winners are getting their stuff sent momentarily. Woo! Everybody's cool. Well, of course, you've noticed that YouTube, especially the big YouTubers, have all either gone to sleep or something's really wrong, or they're all playing Diablo 3. Everybody in the world right now is playing Diablo 3. And many of you have been emailing me, sending me questions, that kind of stuff, about Diablo 3 and the effects and stuff like that. But one of the big things was the Diablo 3 launch, and I've managed to pick a question out from Renegade Ops 241. 241 Renegade Ops, eh? He asked, Preacher, Diablo 3 is finally out. I personally set up a party at my house for Diablo 3 and had several of my friends ready to rock and roll. But unfortunately, the login servers and the launch was a cataclysmic failure, one might say. We couldn't get into the server all night, and we went to call it a night around 5 AM, only to wake up and see that the servers were still not really functional the next day. How can a game like Diablo 3 and a company like Blizzard allow this to happen? Surely they knew that so many people were going to log in and have these problems. It's unacceptable, in my opinion, that they just didn't manage to prepare for this. What are your thoughts on this? Do you want the biggest tip in the world? The biggest tip that will save you so much rage in the future? When a monolithic and titanic game like Diablo 3 that has been waiting by millions of people for 10 years launches and it's online, don't book your parties for launch day. Seriously, do not do that. You will just be in a whole world of crap. Unfortunately, that is what will go down. Do not do it, ballers. You book your parties, you take your time off work, and you do it for the next day. Just a measly 24 hours later, book all your parties, take your time off work, and then sit down to some lovely, lovely, gorgeous play. Because it usually takes around 24 hours for these things to settle down. So I can see both sides of the argument here. First of all, the fact that everybody bought the game, and therefore you should be able to play it when it's released. That makes sense, right? You've paid for the game, you've got the game, it's on your PC, ready to go, you've got everybody there, you know, and the game is out, it's live, and you can't play it. That sucks. It sucks balls. It absolutely sucks balls, and I totally see where this rage comes from. Fact of the matter is, the game is out, you've bought it, you're ready to play it, and you can't, because of something completely out of your control. The game just says you cannot play. Error 37 kicks you in the teeth. Well, I fully appreciate that. I do, and I understand the rage. I've been there. In fact, any game generally created by Blizzard only has 3 games realistically: the StarCraft, the WoW, and of course Diablo. And every single day of launch of those games is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Trust me, book all your stuff to do with a big Blizzard launch, unless you have some overwhelming reason why you need to play from the second the game goes live. I know we love to do it. I really know. And common sense tells you if the game is out and I've bought it, I should be able to play it. Here comes the other side of the argument, okay? And this is where we need to take a step back and be rational people for a moment. Millions upon millions of people, I mean so many more than those who bought the annual pass, are about to play Diablo 3 the second it goes live. And the only way Blizzard could have possibly made that really smooth would to be by something along the lines of 3 or 4 times the amount of server clusters that Diablo 3 needs in order to run smoothly, just for the launch. Just for the launch, they would have had to do that, because everybody and their mother was ready to log in and play Diablo 3. So many people tried to ping those servers within the first 30 seconds of those servers being live. Someone at Blizzard flicks a switch, they say, okay, now we can let people log in. Bajoom! It's like the World War IV breaks out on the servers. And inevitably, because of the fact that these things are real and not in fantasy land, is they will have problems. This is just real life, guys, unfortunately. And there's a definite naivety when it comes to games such as Diablo 3. It's very rare that a game as anticipated and bought and pre-purchased as much as Diablo 3 has these problems. There's been so many comparisons on the forums to services like Steam and Modern Warfare, purely from people who have no idea how this system works. So if you're not really sure how the login system works and how games like Diablo 3 differ from copies of Modern Warfare 3 and how they host their games, just try and refrain to not make yourself look like an idiot. It's really sad, and then people start deleting the comments and it just breaks out into furthermore rage, and people go, oh, you must be 12 years old. Trust me, this was bound to happen. Absolutely guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. It was the same with the annual pass we saw in beta. People seem to forget things. Just 3 months ago, we had the same problem with the annual pass. So many people bought the annual pass and then were surprised that they didn't all get a beta invite on day one. 2 months later, Diablo 3 launches, and we're all surprised that we didn't manage to get I think it's something like 4.5 million copies of Diablo 3 were about to go live at midnight, and we didn't all get in immediately. Get real. I think I was the only person that I know of that did not have major issues with this. Why? Because on the launch day of Diablo 3, I went to bed at 11 o'clock. I installed the game, I went to bed. And you know what? The next day I logged in about 4 p.m. No problems whatsoever, and I started leveling away with Genji and the team. And then the next day, today, I logged in midday just to record some footage for you guys. No login problems whatsoever. I have had absolutely none of this rage. And why? Because I knew that we weren't going to be able to play at midnight. It happens with the World of Warcraft launches. Hell, does anybody remember the Burning Crusade launches? We couldn't get in for hours. Cataclysm wasn't too bad. Cataclysm was not that bad, but again, that's comparing apples and oranges. The MMOs in World of Warcraft depends on your server, because we're all connected to one individual server, and those are limited to the amount of people those servers can handle. Diablo 3 is just worldwide, region-wide server clusters that allow all those people to log in simultaneously. So it was bound to happen, and I knew this. In fact, Ghost said to me the day before, do you want to take the day off to play Diablo 3? I was like, no. Are you going to be online at midnight to play Diablo 3? I said, probably not. And he's like, why? I said, it's not going to work out, man. The servers are going to crumble and die. There's millions of people around the world who are spamming the login screen to get in and pinging those servers every few seconds. Millions and millions of signals. To put it into context, our website that we pay for crashed every single 2 hours because it was taking more than 25 requests per second from our forum base, which is around 500-600 users. Whereas now we're talking about millions upon millions of users. Come on, get real, people. The naivety to expect this of Blizzard. And I see all these comments, oh, Blizzard's got millions of pounds. Yes, they have, but they still have their limitations. And they don't, like I say, they would need to buy 3 or 4 times the amount of server clusters required to run the game just for the launch day. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars and man hours put into creating just this one day experience, and then all that stuff goes to waste and never gets used. Simple fact is, do not book your parties and your LAN parties, which are an awesome experience, and I fully recommend that you do that, is to definitely organise this stuff for the next day. If people want to re-roll a character and play at midnight desperately, fine, let them have the frustration, let them play a little character, but when it comes to your LAN party, just finish work as you normally would, get home, relax, the game is running live, and then log in when everyone gets there. You will have such a better time than staying up till midnight, waiting for this launch, and in fact it was 1 AM over here in the UK, and then having 3 or 4 hours of login issues while everybody tries to get onto the game and they're all playing the same areas, and just don't have that experience of enjoying yourself. It's so easy, guys. It's so simple to do. I just recommend that you do this. Have a bit of forethought. There's not many games in the world that are like Diablo 3. And it's very easy for people to go, oh, well, Modern Warfare 3 launch was fine. Skyrim was fine. They're really not the same thing as what Diablo 3 is. It brings us to the subject that's a huge controversy at the moment is, why does Diablo 3 need to be online? Are you joking with the real money auction house involved? The way Blizzard needs to protect this so people aren't just making tons of money by duping and copying and pirating and making little servers where they can get their own stuff and then trying to sell it for real money. It's imperative that this game is purely online. It's just factual. It needs to happen. And people say it's a single-player game. It's not really a single-player game. In fact, I was playing with 4 players for most of the evening. We had the full team. We had me, Unreal, Ghost, and Genji rocking our way through Diablo 3, just having a great time and a blast. A single-player game, sure, you can totally play Diablo 3 single-player. It's not really intended to be done that way. It surely can be, but Diablo 3 is so much better in a party. When you're rocking and rolling, your dungeons get harder, there's more to explore, there's more loot being passed around, you're all sharing items. Every time we went back to town, our floor was covered in blue and yellow rare items. We were just lobbing them on the floor. Who wants what? I've got some 9 dex pants, I've got some strength weapons. Oh, let me have a look. Cool, it's passing it all around. So much more interesting, so much more fun. Yeah, you can play Diablo single player. It's so much better not that way. And quite frankly, with a lot of people doing everything in parties, Blizzard themselves don't really consider it a single player game. Sure, it can be done single player, and you can have a great time doing that, just immersing yourself. And sometimes you'll want to log in and do it single player. But most of the time, especially with a community like the Preachgaming community, where we're all sharing Diablo 3 tags on the forums, we're all going to be playing together. And if Battle.net wasn't such a pain in the ass, I would have my chat open. Because I got raged at yesterday by some people who said I've been messaging you all day. Unfortunately, guys, I just didn't see your messages because Battle.net was being a pig. So I just turned my chat off. I was getting errors, achievement warnings, spammed all over the place. It just was rubbish, so I just turned it off. Simple as. Diablo 3, considered as a single-player game, is such a backwards, old school way of thinking around Diablo 2 time. And people are comparing it to Diablo 2, which was single player mode, and in fact to join Battle.net and play with other people you had to do a separate install, a multiplayer install. It's 2012, guys. This is the way things are. It's designed to play over the internet. Why? Because the majority of the world now has stable internet. Even third world countries, players over there have stable internet. And if you're one of those people who doesn't have stable internet, I'm sorry, but you're now in the vast minority. When Diablo 2 rolled out, not many people had stable internet. We were all on 56.6 or 48 BPS modems, and they were crap. And, that was then. This is now. We all have sort of broadband. Fibre optic internet is now the norm in the UK. It's getting there in the US. And in other parts of the world, they're way past fibre optic internet. We have solid internet connections, and it's the norm. And now we're including real money auction houses into it. It has to be online. It has to be monitored and policed by Blizzard, and it doesn't take anything away from the game. They don't throw piracy and ad spam warnings at you all over the place. In fact, logging into Diablo 3 is incredibly easy. I type my password, I'm on the login screen, I pick a friend, and I'm off, and I'm done. It's incredibly simple. It's one of the easiest systems in the world to get a group game going. It's perfectly fine. So people arguing for LANs and stuff, this isn't an esport. I fully agree that StarCraft 2 should have a LAN option, considering how much money goes through those games. But Diablo 3, no. Diablo 3 should be an online-only game, really, because LANs are becoming a thing of the past, and most LANs, big LAN parties, now have a major internet connection provided to them. And it's only when it's a couple of guys grabbing, which is great fun, but it is a thing of the past now. It's a few guys renting out some hall somewhere, putting a few desks down, and just slapping down some PCs and getting themselves organised. They're generally even organising internet connections while they're there. They're bringing a switch, they're plugging into the local internet, and they're having great times as well. This is the way the world is. Most of us are separated and we don't have time. When you compare the option of a few guys getting together and having a LAN party and putting in all the support for that, compared to the millions of people like myself who are sat at home playing with people in the US, like Genji, people in Holland, like Unreal, and even Ghost, who's 3-4 miles down the road, we can get together instantly and have our little LAN party, and we've got voice communications. It's hardly that much different than us all being together, besides it's probably less loud. Quite frankly, we can go for a pee whenever we feel like it. It's all easy stuff. But for those of you asking, is Diablo 3 a great game? Of course it is. It's gold. The game is fantastic. I'm having a great time. I had never played Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, and I was very unsure of this whole hack and slashy idea, but it's really, really a lot of fun. The story's great. Exploring's fantastic. The combat is interesting, if not a little bit basic, but I haven't gone into Inferno mode yet, which seems to be where it's really down to skill. I've even died a few times on normal mode, just getting used to the game, and I really, really enjoy it, so I recommend you guys try it out. Is this going to be a WoW killer? No. Not at all. WoW's in its hiatus stage at the moment, so we're going to be looking at broadcasting different sorts of stuff for our YouTube channel, such as preparing for Mr. Pandaria, all that kind of stuff. But overall, the failure of the launch should have been expected, guys, unfortunately. I fully agree with why you're angry and raging, but it was the same reason that I fully agree with why you were angry and raging when we didn't all get Mr. Pandaria beta invites. But then you have to say, whoa, 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 am I being rational about this? 4 or 5 million people all logging a server at the same time, should have expected some issues. Yes, you should. And you should book this stuff for the next day. Oh my god, just give yourself 24 hours. You will not lose anything. Unless you have some overwhelming urge, you're going for world first or realm first or whatever, then fine. You probably want to try and log in at the first thing. But if you're looking to get together with a bunch of friends and just have some great games online, do it the next day. You will have so much more fun. Alright, ballers, that's me done. You take it easy.